In this article, we will talk about 5 interesting social psychology experiments. 1. Pratfall Effect. If you're not perfect, people will love you better. Maybe that's why Jennifer Lawrence fell in front of millions at 2 Oscar ceremonies. Psychological research shows that making mistakes in front of others, or admitting a mistake, makes you more loved by others. Psychologist Elliott Aronson. 1. Pratfall Effect. If you're not perfect, people will love you better. Maybe that's why Jennifer Lawrence fell in front of millions at 2 Oscar ceremonies. Psychological research shows that making mistakes in front of others, or admitting a mistake, makes you more loved by others. Psychologist Elliott Aronson has a group of people listen to students answering an exam question. Some of the students pour a cup of coffee on the audio recording. When the researchers asked which people they liked best, the results show that the audience liked the group who poured their cup of coffee more. Here's what you need to get out of this psychological research: it's okay to be wrong. In fact, it will make you more lovable in the eyes of others. 2. Pygmalion Effect. Your success may vary depending on what those around you think of you. Psychologist Robert Rosenthal goes to a freshman and sophomore class and conducts an intelligence test at the beginning of the year. However, regardless of the results of the intelligence test, he says that he can be very successful by randomly choosing and giving the names of some students in the classroom to his classroom teachers. At the end of the year, the results are surprising. The most successful students in the class will not be the highest on the intelligence test, but Rosenthal's will be successful. He is in the student group, he stated. Rosenthal's observations throughout the year show that the teachers showed more interest in this expectation of success, gave them more opportunities, and gave more comprehensive feedback when they failed. So expectations created a different reality. Doesn't this give a very important clue to our current education system? 3. The Bystander Effect. The more people see a person's need for help, the less chance that person will get help. Did it scare you to hear this? If there is someone on the street who needs help, and if 30 to 40 people see it instead of 3 to 4 people, is that person less likely to get help? Unfortunately, yes. Psychologists attribute this to confusion about responsibility. So if you need help, don't ask for help from a large group. Social psychologists Bibb Latané and John Daly measure the bystander effect as follows: 1 row in the library of a university campus creates a melee as if a student is drowning. If this happens in front of only 1 student, 85% of those students rush to help. If there is another person, 65% of them rush to help. If the students think they have more than 2 people around, the aid rate drops to 31%. In group projects, this often happens to you. At least one person in the group, depending on the size of the group, does not contribute much to the project because he thinks someone else in the group will do what he has to do. What you need to get out of this psychological research: don't rely on large groups for help and be specific when seeking help. Often people think that larger groups will be more helpful, but that's not true. 4. Spotlight Effect. Your mistakes aren't as striking as you think. There is a feeling that he is constantly observed or attracted attention in today's people, especially with the influence of social media applications such as Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat. This can sometimes get to the point where the person may become paranoid about their appearance and behavior. However, psychological research shows that, in fact, your flaws do not sink as much in the eyes of others as you think. A group of psychologists at Cornell University dress participants in T-shirts with an embarrassing picture on them, and ask them how many people will notice this T-shirt. The results show that participants in the experiment stated that they would notice them twice as many as the reality. Here's what you need to get out of this psychological research: you are less noticeable than you might think. So do not be too tense in public places. Also, you don't have to go deep into the ground when you commit a small flaw. 5. Focus Effect. People tend to focus too much on one aspect of a situation or event and forget the effect of the other factor. How much of a difference do you think there is between a person with a high income and a person with a low income? You think it's too loud at first glance, right? However, the real difference is actually less than 1/3 of the rate many people estimate. This is a situation where we observe the focus effect, putting income in focus in mood predictions. In short, the rich are happier. Get carried away by the assumption. How is the focus effect used in our daily life? For example, advertisers repeat to you that if you own a product, you will age later, be happier or feel better. Politicians keep repeating to you that if their power goes away you will be unhappy and the country will be plunged into chaos. Here's what you need to get out of this psychological research: don't be fooled by what you're promised to do. Also, when evaluating your happiness or unhappiness, avoid attributing this to one single cause. Think of your life as a multifactorial equation rather than a linear equation. And consider that factors are always variable in that equation.